इवनिंग, गुड नाइट। आप लोग जो पीछे बैठे हैं प्लीज सामने आ जाइए। कम all right, so first I think probably I'll stand down here. Firstly, thank you so much for coming at a short notice, right? We have been fighting the dates for a long time to get this slot today on the weekend, and finally, we managed to get this, right? So, but it's extremely exciting that Hyderabad is going to host such a big event. It's an international event, okay? The equivalent of the biggest names in international rugby are going to be here, and Rahul has been driving this for a long time. We have known him more as an actor, as a filmmaker, but this is a far important thing I think which he's doing, and I will not stand between him and you, and he will explain what this is all about. This is like a curtain raiser in the city, and how this relates to the city. It's very interesting. It's not at all what we think it is. So without much other ceremony, Rahul, please come. Thank you.
First of all, thanks for coming. It's really short notice, but I think I told Ilahi that I was going to be here only 2 days ago, and so she very kindly arranged something like this to happen. So let me just tell you what this is all about. I am the president of the National Rugby Federation, and I've been so for the last 4.5 years. Nobody knows the sport in this country. We are very aware of that. And so, to lay context behind what is the only franchise-based rugby event on the planet for a country that is not a world champion in the sport, we've done something that no country in the world has done. So I want to put some context behind it. India has about 760 districts. Rugby is played in 322. Let's observe that 40% of India plays rugby. If you go to any of these 322 districts and say rugby, somebody's hand will come up. So, who plays? How come we don't know? Rugby is played by people at the absolute bottom of the socio-economic pyramid. जो सबसे गरीब हैं वो खेलते हैं। अब ये कैसा हुआ, क्यों हुआ और कब हुआ? How did this begin to happen is a very interesting story. करीबन 20 साल पहले 2006, 8 years before that, rugby was recognized as an official, India was recognized as an official rugby playing nation. None of you know about it, but 1998, India had an official Indian rugby team that played on the international circuit. I played the first test match for India, and I played after that for 11 years for India in the 17 internationals that we played. Okay. In those days, 1998 to 2006, 2-3 schools, 10-12 clubs में खेला जाता था. The rich, the affluent used to play it like they play in traditional rugby countries like England, where traditionally the wealthy people have played rugby. Something very beautiful happened in Indian sport from 2000 to now. Outside of cricket, a lot of Indian sports began to be successful. Badminton, Saina, Sindhu, tennis, Leander, Mahesh, Rohan, Sania, chess. We're seeing the world champions coming out. Just now, Pragnanta has won something yesterday. So, the few people who used to play rugby in schools, in clubs, their parents say, अब नहीं खेलना. मुफ्त में you're going to be breaking your bones for what? It's a very rough, very physical sport. So, middle class and upper middle class India, few of them that used to play rugby left it. They went to tennis, went to badminton, went to table tennis, chess, golf, which is great. I think it's a great thing. So this sport faced an existential crisis, and in 2006, by complete chance, इत्तेफाक से, एक बंदा इंग्लैंड से जाता है दुनिया के सबसे बड़े आदिवासी यूनिवर्सिटी स्कूल में, दुनिया के ट्राइबल स्कूल called the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences in Bhubaneswar. वहाँ पे 30,000 बच्चे मुफ्त में पढ़ते हैं, खाते हैं, रहते हैं, कपड़े से स्कूल बुक्स, एवरीथिंग इज गिवन फॉर फ्री. इस स्कूल में ये बंदा आता है, उसे रग्बी का बहुत शौक है. He begins to teach rugby to the children. बच्चे बॉल लेके, पहले जब वो बैग से बॉल निकालता है, he takes out the ball, they take the ball and they run away. They come back after 1 hour and say, the ball is defective because ये गोल हो ही नहीं रहा, ये वैसे ही रहा, ये defective ball है. From that day, these kids began to play, and 6 months later, the same children win the World School Rugby Games, which are held, I think, in France. वहाँ से बड़े-बड़े देशों से, जहाँ पे rugby is a legacy sport, South Africa, England, Australia, teams are coming from all these various countries, and this tribal team beats them all. That is when, as a federation, everybody began to think, maybe there is a market for the sport, not in upper class and upper middle class India, but in rural India. And then, first by accident and then by design, it began to be taught in these 322 districts across the country. With a firm eye, खेलने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? बॉल. मिट्टी के ग्राउंड पे खेलो, कोई बात नहीं. आपके पास वो फैंसी रग्बी कोच नहीं है तो भी कोई बात नहीं. And today we've come to a point, rugby is played in about between 100 and 120 countries in the world. So the Rugby World Cup is the 5th largest sporting event in history. There are two types of rugby, Test cricket and T20. Test cricket rugby is 15 versus 15. 80 minute का खेल है, 2 halves of 40 minutes. And T20 rugby is rugby sevens. 7 versus 7. The field is the same, football field. 7 versus 7. And the game is only 14 minutes. 14 minutes. We focus our energy on T20 for two reasons. One, there is no funding for the Test cricket version of rugby from sponsors or from governments. Two, all the medal-winning meets, Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, Olympic Games, they all have rugby. Sevens, T20, not the Test. In Asia, 36 countries play rugby, T20. Our women are ranked 6th. Our men are ranked 12th. For perspective, If our women come in the top two, they will go to the Olympic Games. Do you know how many teams from India have gone to the Olympic Games in the last 75 years? How many sports teams have gone to Olympic Games? Take a guess. Only hockey. By 2032, we will be the second sport in 90 years to go to the Olympics from India. Now, what is the Rugby Premier League? इस सब के बीच में ये कहाँ से आ गया और क्यों? I have been thinking for the last 7 years as to what is the silver bullet. Has anybody seen Star Wars, the film? वो Star Wars, वो वाला. एक जब Han Solo शिप में बैठा हुआ है, वो एक बटन दबाता है. उस बटन से the spaceship goes 100 times in speed and all the stars rush by. एक कुछ बटन है वहाँ पे booster या कुछ and he just shoots ahead. So what is that button for Indian rugby? Because if we keep playing like this, we will make advances. But let's take Indian cricket as an example. Indian cricket first played its first test match in 1932. And we won our first test series in 1971. 40 साल लगे ना to win the first series. And how many countries were playing it? 8. Now, out of 120 countries, if you want to get to the top 10, 15, it will take us 75 years. 75 years, we'll be dead. Lamakan might be going on, but we'll be dead. Definitely. So, if you don't want to wait that long, if you have constructive impatience, what do? And this is where I thought of the RPL. IPL was already there. It was there for 10 years. And I said, why can't we have an IPL for rugby? इससे हमें क्या benefit मिलेगा? First, if you follow the IPL model, the best players in the world come here to play with the best players in India. So the exposure of Indian rugby players to the best players in the world, right now we're only playing in Asia. We are number 6 in Asia. We are playing the Asian countries. Japan, China, Korea, uske baad Malaysia, Thailand, falana dhimka. But with the RPL, the best players in the world will be here from South Africa, New Zealand, France, Argentina, England, Australia. That's one. 2. This will be obviously with an auction. So your players will start to make money for 2 weeks of rugby that they couldn't have done, they would make. 3. Rugby is not played or seen by anybody in the big cities. Let's get to the playing part. After the RPL, I am sure kids will start to say, this is really exciting. लेकिन हमारे स्कूल में तो है नहीं, हमारे पास बॉल भी नहीं है, कहाँ जाए खेलने के लिए? हमें तो जाना पड़ेगा नंदुरबार या बीड, these are districts in Maharashtra, या हमें जाना पड़ेगा क्योंझर उड़ीसा में या सोनीपत हरियाणा में. हमारे में तो यहाँ है ही नहीं. So through the RPL, there will be 6 franchises like the IPL. Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. 6 cities will have 6 teams. And as the RPL starts, last year was the first year, we will start to teach rugby in 10 schools in that city. So in 5 years, 7 years of time, all the kids will start to play rugby in these schools and they'll become fans of Hyderabad Heroes or Bengaluru Bravehearts. While you are doing this, each of the 6 teams जो franchises हैं वो कह रहे कि हमारे नए players कहाँ से लाए, so they will begin to scout, चाहे हिमाचल से हो या तमिलनाडु से हो, you can still play for Hyderabad. So their scouts will get 30 players and build a small Hyderabad Heroes Center in Hyderabad. वहाँ पे जिम्नेजियम होगा, वहाँ पे ग्राउंड होगा, वहाँ पे फिजियो होगा, वहाँ पे मसाज थेरेपिस्ट होगा, वहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स साइंस रिहैब होगा. So 6 cities, the franchises to win the tournament next year, for their own self-interest, will start a small rugby ecosystem. And so you have 6 ecosystems in cities where earlier you had 0. So this then becomes the 3 or 4 reasons to have a Rugby Premier League. How do you make it successful? You make any league, sporting league, a success when it's fantastic on television. What makes a sport fantastic on television? Come on, I'm asking you. Why do you watch a sport on television? Intensity. कि यहाँ पे कुछ हो रहा है. लेकिन for a new sport, how long will you give when you're watching? चलो चलो क्या हो रहा है? How long will you give? 2 minutes? Yeah, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. चलो लिखो. In rugby sevens, there's a score every 60 seconds. तो अगर आप 2 मिनट के लिए वहां पे बैठोगे, 100% you'll see a score. What else will you see? Smash! Like 100 miles an hour, 2 people are smashing into each other. Oh! मर गया, ये तो मर गया. And pick the ball up and score. You will see athletes who are running, the top athletes, rugby players in the world, first 40 meters, they have timing very close to Usain Bolt. Timing very close to Usain Bolt. And yet they are built like giants. So in 2 minutes, you're going to see blinding speed, smashing, scoring. What more can I give you? What more can I give you? The game is totally easy to understand. यार ये बॉल उसने पैर पे लगा तो क्या हो गया वो one of the team owners brought one of their friends in. He said Mardhar score. Mardhar score. Fine, I don't care. So you're seeing supreme athleticism, you're seeing fantastic speed, incredible physicality. It's like if you could run in kabaddi, if you could sprint in kabaddi. So easy to follow. And as my broadcaster Geo Hotstar says, there is an event every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, कुछ ना कुछ तमाशा हो रहा है. Oh my God, something is happening. So, number one, to put it on television, it has to be super exciting. Second, to put it on television, it has to be the best rugby available on TV in that month. I don't want to mention sports, but there are many Indian leagues where you know that if you just switch the channel, you'll watch better quality of that sport from England or from Spain or from Europe. What's the point of watching this? So you have to ensure that this is the best rugby in the world. How do you ensure that? To get the best players. Not some retired 41-year-old एक मतलब थोड़ा सा लंगड़ाते हुए उसने 3 वर्ल्ड कप जीते थे 19 से 17 में, ऐसा नहीं. You need the Ronaldos and Messis of today, and Hyderabad, you're going to get them in 7 days from now. In fact, they're coming in day after tomorrow to start training. The finest rugby players on the planet are coming here after finishing right now at 9:27 tonight, the last World Championship game at Bordeaux finishes, and they get onto a plane tomorrow when they come to India. So you have the best players in the world, the very best players in the world. So अगर आपको देखना है, you're watching the best. the best of the best. But you're watching the best of the best play with each other. There is a New Zealander All Black playing with a Australian Wallaby, playing with a South African Springbok on the same team. So if you're a rugby fan, it's super exciting. Now, finally, you got exciting, you got the best stuff, there's nothing rivaling this on television, and you're sitting there and you're watching this. Why would the best players in the world come here? Number one. And number two, the quality of rugby. This is incorrect. Number one, if you're truly a great sportsman, a great player, a great tennis player, a great footballer, a great golfer, it's the challenge of the quality of rugby. Second is the money. We took no chances. We pay the top players in the world exactly what they get anywhere else in the world. Let me just quickly finish my thought. That's one. And second, you know what the players asked me? सारे world's best players पिछले साल ऑस्ट्रेलिया में they were playing a world championship. I said चलो वहाँ जाके मैं उनसे बात करता हूँ. I went to Perth. I'm sitting in front of 30 of the best players in the world. After listening to the whole presentation, you know what question they asked? Who are the coaches? आपने कहा 6 teams, Bangalore, Delhi, ये सब. Who are the coaches? Because every supremely talented premium athlete wants to know who's my coach. Is it Gary Kirsten? Is it Ricky Ponting? Is it Mourinho? Is it Arsene Wenger? Who's the coach? Before I went there, we had already signed the world's 6 top coaches. So when they heard the names, their eyeballs fell out. They're like, what? I said, yeah. These 6 coaches. I said, yeah. He said, so if I play for this team, I will be coached by the New Zealand head coach. I'm Argentinian. I've never ever played with. I'll be, yeah. That was the thrill. The thrill was to be coached by the top coaches of the planet. You can be French, and your coach could be one of the 6. But if you go to any of the other teams, how exciting is that? You're going to be having the Argentine coach, Santiago. Santi is one of the top 3 coaches in the world. Wow, to be coached by Santi. France won the Olympics, to be coached by that head coach. So basically what we did was we put together a package that would get the best players and the best coaches. The game itself is super easy and super exciting. I never had a doubt that this would catch fire. Coming to voters. We had the first one last year. Geo Hotstar. Star Sports Select. Why did they come? Nobody watches rugby. Not one person. Has rugby ever been on TV? Never. तो उनकी मत वाली है कि वो आएंगे. क्यों? Why did they come? Because they instinctively realized 2 things. Number one, this sport is super exciting and easy to follow. Number 2, it smells world class. कि ये जो उन्होंने बनाया है ये लीग, ये world class है. And I tell you this, you might not know how to cook food, but when you're eating terrific food, you know. You might not know Carnatic classical music, but when you hear it, you can sense that यार ये बंदा या ये बंदी बहुत ही माहिर है इसमें. We know when we are in the presence of something world class, and they could smell it, they could feel it. So they came. Okay. Now, how do we gauge whether this is a success or a failure or something in between? No idea. So all I can tell you right now is 2.5 million people watch rugby that never watched rugby before. But think about it. 2.5 million people. That's crazy. Now, if we go down to 2 million people, it's a failure. If we go to 5 million people, it's a success. So everybody kept saying, but what have you told your team owners? Good question. It's a league. They're putting money in. So for 6.5 years, I spent with all the team owners of the most famous leagues in India about money. या पैसों के बारे में बात करें. हालांकि तुम क्रिकेट के ओनर हो, लेकिन पैसा in proportion it should be profit making. So what have you done? You're a TT. You have a TT league. You have a badminton league. What is it that the finances have to make sense? So when we went to the owners, we went to owners telling them the absolute truth. No, in year 3 you'll make this much. By the 7th year, gold will be coming down from the skies now. This is exactly how we're going to play it. And if you think we don't believe in our product, we will give you a minimum guarantee of this much money at the end of the year. चाहे हम sponsors से पैसा बनाते हैं या नहीं, आपको इतना पैसा मिलेगा at the end of the tournament. पक्का. और हमने दिया भी. So when they realized that we were willing to put our money where our mouth is, why would anybody say no? अगर आपने कुछ बनाया खाना और आपने मुझे खिलाया, लेकिन आपने कहा कि आपको शक लग रहा है कि शायद इसमें जहर है, पहले मैं खाता, उसके बाद आप खाइए. I still haven't answered your question. I'm coming. So at that point of time, the owners said, they're all billionaires here. What are you going to tell a billionaire about money? Hey, 34 साल में ऐसा होगा नहीं. They know. Their life is looking at balance sheets and spreadsheets. Their life is full of people telling them lies because people want their money. So when we came, they were like, "You're telling us that the news is not that great." I said, no, it's not that great. It could be fantastic, but we're not telling you that. We're giving you the worst case scenario. And therefore, this is how much money you have to put in. Compared to the other sports, this is all we want from you. This is all we want. And you put up a world class, you put up a world class. And that's all we took. So today our owners have, it's not just 5 years or 10 years, they've signed on for much longer. So now you have these very, very wealthy owners who know exactly what's going to happen money-wise. Worst case. Best case could be better. So they're on your side. They know that इनके साथ तो ये बहुत ईमानदार लोग हैं. You have the best players in the world. You have the best coaches in the world. You have a fantastic sport. 16 minutes you have to watch. 4 games a day. In 2 hours you're out. Our broadcaster told us today, even in a game you're supposed to watch for 4 hours, nobody watches. You watch the first 5 overs, last 5 overs. In the middle, you might watch Vaibhav Suryavanshi or Virat Kohli. You don't spend 4 hours watching the whole game, unless you're mistaken. So please, 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 how long is your game? We said 22 minutes. 16 with the breaks. And there are 4 games. You can walk out after 2 games, or you can stay. In Mumbai, everybody stayed because वहाँ पहुँचने में तो 90 मिनट लगते हैं मुंबई में. तो उसके बाद 90 मिनट तो हम बैठोगे, सांस लोगे, इत्मीनान से बैठोगे, you'll have a cold drink, you'll have a samosa, then you'll go. So how do we build a fan base? First, you have to build a fan base for rugby. You know when cricket came to India first? Anybody? When did cricket first come to India? Take a guess. What's that? 1850. Before that. And last guess. Okay. Cricket came to India in 1720. So 250 साल से जनाब, you kept playing. It was seeping into the consciousness of this nation, into the sporting consciousness. So we are in the 13th month. So first you have to build people who believe in the sport, people who are attracted to the sport. Now, where are your heroes? You have to put heroes and big hoardings. अरे यार, अगर वो खेल को नहीं जानते तो हीरो कहाँ से होगा पैदा? So simultaneously, what you're doing is you're popularizing the sport, and you're popularizing the sport in that city, which is why I'm sitting here. Lamakan is not famous for its sporting crowd, but this is how you start the conversation. That there is something, I can tell you this, world class on 16th of June at Gachibowli Stadium. It will be world class. And in Mumbai, by the last week, the audience was 50% female. For very obvious reasons. It's the best athletes on the planet. They look like gods. And before we open it up for discussion, I just want to say one thing. हमारे rugby ecosystem में, India में, there is no gender. Our women and our men, उसी AC कमरा, वही खाना, वही kit, वही पैसा. Everything, absolutely equal. Our women are ranked 6th in Asia, our men are ranked 12th. बल्कि हमारे लड़के मुझसे कभी-कभार आरोप डालते हैं कि you favor the women. Our women are fantastic. And this year, there's Rugby Premier League men and Rugby Premier League women. We have the best players from 19 countries playing the men's and the best players from 11 countries playing the women. If you want to see women's empowerment, remember I told you, bottom of the social pyramid. If you want to see women's empowerment, what does it mean to take off traditional clothes and wear shorts? What does it mean to get onto a field and get dirty? What does it mean to wear shorts, get onto a field, get dirty and hit somebody? And get hit. And then get up. And then win for India. If you want to see that story, the first Indian girl who tackles a world-class athlete on 16th of June will be that moment. I'm telling you, it will be a crystallization of everything that we wish happens in the interest of equity and equality. I can tell you so many stories about our women. I've been to visit, one of our players is from Odisha, 242 kilometers from Bhubaneswar, a tiny tribal village. All the सारे जो मकान हैं वो कच्चे हैं, स्कूल पक्का है, पंचायत का एक पक्का है और उसका घर. The money she's got from rugby, she's built a pakka घर. She took me inside and said, झोपड़ी था लेकिन मैं पैदा यहाँ पे हुई थी. अब वहाँ पे सीमेंट का एक फ्लोर बना है. I went to a tribal village in Panhala, Maharashtra. In the cities, it is played in the slums. We have 4 international players from the slums of Kolkata. We have 3 international players from the slums outside Jaipur. We have 14 international players from a tiny village in a tea garden on the border of Bengal and Sikkim called Saraswatipur. How? There are miracles in this country we don't know. But I go into those miracles and I want to find out. I take the miracle apart and say, this is why it happened. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So what you're going to finally, I want to end by saying is, what you're going to be seeing when you come to Gachibowli Stadium any day between 7:30 and 10, tickets are $100 or something. You pick next to you. You're going to see India, a sport in India transforming today, chalo, 10,000 lives. But you will go back 20 years from now, you will turn around and say, I saw the beginning of that. I saw the beginning of our Indian players playing with the best players in the world. Just think, you're a football player. Just think of an Indian player playing with Messi for the whole game. Just think of that and imagine what it does to that Indian player. And that player tells me he started rugby because he couldn't eat. And he saw somebody eating food and wearing a jersey and said, I want to eat food. He said, you want to eat food? Come and play. That's why he started. That boy was the best player of the tournament in India last year, in the RPL. So it's all of this. It's all of this that goes to the center of my heart. India, people who otherwise are ignored. We know all the inequities that this country bestows on the poor, the marginalized, women, all kinds. We know. And in this sport, when they come onto that field with a ball in their hand, with a blue sky above and green grass below, everybody can start from scratch. It's game on for everybody. So, the RPL is one small part of what we do as a national federation. We do 90% of the work is you don't know about it. You have no clue what we are doing. But the RPL is the most visible face, especially in the metros. And the reason why, when Eli and I were talking, the reason why I said I would like to come and just talk to Hyderabad about it, because it's not about come and watch the sport, of course, but come and watch something that 100% you'll be proud of. 100%. Whether you like the sport, whether you come back, whether you don't, alag baat hai. But just come and witness something which we talk about, but we rarely see. In different industries in this country, we do see it, but not so often. You're going to have that. And we chose Hyderabad because we have 6 cities. Last year Mumbai, this year Hyderabad. Agle saal Delhi ho sakta hai, Bangalore ho sakta hai. The 6 cities where we're going. Because you can't travel. 16-minute game. You can't have an away game and a home game. You know, maximum you can do 2 cities. But there are 5 games a day, and in 13 days you're done with these franchises. That's my lecture for the day. Please feel free to ask questions.
We are open for questions.
Hello sir, it was a really nice presentation. কিছু প্রশ্ন আছে. So first thing is like one part actually is not matching. Is that you are saying that it is literally popular, so many players are playing in the tribal areas, but you are coming to the metro cities. The thing is like, instead of cricket, if you look at any other sport, even if you look at football, and you have seen how ISL became a failure, even though it started as a success, it was taken down by everyone, by so many laws and everything. So many losses. So many ISL became a failure. Footballers are not getting paid on the long run. So the thing is like, instead of metro cities, if you could like if you could start the leagues centering the tribal areas, I mean that would have been better success, don't you think? Or
How successful can be?
like there will be much more players. I mean like if you don't tell anyone, people are going to come.
Our entire job is in the tribal areas. I'm talking to you about 10% of what the Federation does. All the work we do is in those areas. Ours is a backwards problem. We've done all the grassroots. We're in 322 districts. All the work we have to do to get 100,000 players is going on every day. This is just something that is happening 25 years after the federation has formed. So your suggestion has already been done. We have 56 national tournaments in all these areas. So the Rugby Premier League is not for the growth of grassroots rugby in the tribal areas. That's already happened. Our teams are entirely, we don't do a caste census, but the lowest of the low. So our entire outreach has been there. We've not reached here. We've not reached, what is the fancy school? Give me a name. Huh? Whatever. You get my point. We've not reached there. So your question carries an accusation that why are you having it in these fancy places? Why don't you go to the places where the tribals are? We are already there. We've been there for 25 years. Okay, from 2006, 20 years. So we are already there. Our work will never stop. That is 90, I would say 95% of our work is there. This is nothing. This is just something we are doing because of the 4 reasons I detailed. That how do you get urban India to start playing this? Normally in sports, urban India plays. अरे अभी तो हमें villages में जाना है, right? Ours is the opposite. गए villages में, कर रहे हैं. Maharashtra has 36 districts, I think. 35 out of 36 play rugby. You will not ever know because it's hardly played in Mumbai. So ours is the reverse. The hard work has been done. 322 districts is a captive population of 650 million people. So out of that, 1%, 6.5 million, you should be able to create a world-class rugby team with 6.5 million people. What's our excuse? This strategy of the Rugby Premier League is a strategy to make sure that it enters the cities. Because we should also be in the cities. Just because they left the sport 20 years ago doesn't mean they can't readapt it. But how do you do it? And to empower all the kids who are playing, all the kids now in those 322 districts are now looking at the 6 logos. And they're saying, pathway. Hope. Apart from India, hope. So now there are more avenues of hope for those kids.
Rahul ji, here. So first of all, thank you for coming to Hyderabad. Your presence is.
I'm coming for selfish reasons. I'm being very clear about it.
Yes.
This is not some, I'm here because the players start training tomorrow, and I'm coming to Lama Khan because I know none of you know about the sport. So chalo, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Rahul, I just want to make clear to the audience that Rahul has made a film on Purna, who is a tribal girl, 13 years tribal girl who
Youngest girl in history.
youngest girl, 13-year girl who went Everest. So that's a pioneer. I mean, the good thing that is about.
That means I'm okay. I don't have to be kicked off this list.
Yeah. And next, coming to rugby, also, as you mentioned that India is full of pahalwans. We are wrestling, so naturally this sport also is related to that. So when we see women, girls playing rugby on the ground, so it's a kind of chiseling thing because it is a kind of adrenaline thing also. Adrenaline also, a lot of adrenaline also is among the audience. So definitely it resonates the audiences, and it will bring out a spirit of resilience also. So because it is about contesting with the opponents. So it's a welcoming thing. I think it will.
Mike, get up.
I think it will be successful, and within short time it will spread like anything.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
I forget about me being the president of rugby or having played for India for 11 years. I have no doubt. I have no doubt because it is such an emotion when you're watching the sport. It's just emotional. I've seen what's happening. So I have no doubt that it's going to be a success. I'm impatient. I guess I have to be more patient.
You spoke extensively about the grassroots level and the integration within the academy of the club, but are you putting in squad registration, regulations and technical infrastructure to make sure that those people have sustainable careers and actually get to play? Because it's very easy for a team owner to start bringing in bigger names and spend more money than the others.
Are you talking about the Indian players?
Yeah, the domestic players that you're going to be,
So
basically homegrown players, I guess.
here's the reality. The top players for any sport who are knocking on the doors of the national team would be, let's take cricket for example, how many? 100? 50 to 100? अब हमारे auction में how many players do you need? 4 players per team? 10 teams? 12 teams? 50? So finally you're looking at the top 50 players. So even in rugby, you're looking at 5 players per team into 6 teams. You're looking at 30 players. So those 30 players are going to be obviously for the national ecosystem because your national camp is 30 players. But for the future, for anybody who's trying, any of these teams, they will start having young kids. Let's get 13, 14, 15-year-olds and let's start developing them so they are a homegrown talent. We can keep, so we have a provision that each team can keep 2 homegrown talents without putting them up for auction. या ये आपके हैं, आपने इन्वेस्ट किया इनमें, ये आपके हैं, ये ऑप्शन में नहीं है, ये तो हम नहीं कर. Second is any of when we have the auction, you should know this, Ryan. We don't stop any player. We ask all the states, 27 states play rugby. Please nominate your players for the auction. जो नेशनल टीम में है तो वो हो गई, लेकिन उसके बावजूद अगर आपके 1-2 प्लेयर्स हैं जो आप बिलीव करते हैं कि आरपीएल में दिस टाइम वी हैड 81 प्लेयर्स इन द ऑक्शन, वी स्टॉप नोबडी. आ जाओ, 51 प्लेयर्स वर नॉट चोजन. यू कैन से दैट्स अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम यार, बट व्हाई शुड वी स्टॉप? इफ यू वांट टू ट्राई, यू ट्राई. So there's a lot of sensitivity to that. But your larger question is for the federation, which is what are you doing to create a pathway for a player? And the answer comes from something I know from my parents. Whether it's Farhan, whether it's you, whoever is a mother or father in this audience, the one thing you want for your child, whether your child becomes a scientist or a rugby player, is financial security. यार मेरी लड़की, will she be financially independent? Will she be able to stand on her feet? Will my boy be able to? His future should be secure. Same in rugby, same in sport. So we are saying, how do we tell the parents that there are 3 ways? 1, pay them. So since I became president, we began to pay everybody who came to national camp. कितनों ने कहा है कि आपकी बदौलत घर का चूल्हा जलता है, क्योंकि even if you walk away with 80,000-90,000 rupees a year, it's still 8,000 rupees a month. 8 12 are 96, 7,500 rupees a month. If you're coming from a family that somebody else earns 5,000-6,000 rupees, it's 13,000-14,000 rupees to feed 4. It's not great, but it is something. Second, jobs. Till now, I haven't gotten the latest count. I would say between 100 and 150 players in the Indian ecosystem have gotten government jobs. किसी के postal service, कहीं पे police, कहीं पे home guards. So that's the future. रग्बी खेलने से नौकरी मिल सकती. And third is financial rewards. I'll give you an example. You win the nationals, your state will give 5 lakhs to each player. You win the national games, or silver or bronze, between 3 to 5 lakhs per player. You win the Khelo India Youth Games, between 3 to 5 lakhs per player. You win the AIU, which is University Games, you'll get a purse from the university, or you'll get free university education. So there are 4, 5, 6 ways. RPL is one more way in which you can make money from rugby in a year. So the ambition is to get to be one of the 3-4 states who are winning all these medals. At best, you can win 30-40 lakhs a year. At worst, you will only come away with maybe just enough for the national camp, which will give you 20,000-25,000 rupees. Is it ideal? No. What is the ideal thing, Ram? I'll tell you. Districts में हम सब खेलते हैं. You start playing, you play for your school, and somebody says, come play for Hyderabad district. And we have Mumbai district. So before you know it, you're playing in some district championship. After that, the districts you have to play for your state. Are you going to play for Telangana? Are you going to play for Maharashtra? Why? Your parents were छोटे, बस तुम 16 साल के हो ना, अब ICSE, SSC, CBSE, start studying. At that point, I want to be in a position to go to the rugby board and say, anybody who makes the state team will get ₹1 lakh a year. Now, how many players do we have playing for the states? Out of 27 states, we have a total, boys, girls, men, women, 450, under 18, under 1800. Okay? 1800 players are playing for their state, either under 18 or men and women. 450, 450. 27 states, roughly 14 players a team. 410, 420. That means if you pay 1 lakh to anybody who plays for their state, you need 18 crores. Simple mathematics. You need to raise 18 crores separately from everything else which you're doing, which costs 10, 15, 20 crores to run the federation and all the 56 tournaments. So my ambition is to raise these 18 crores. Now, how do I raise these 18 crores when I'm not on television? The sponsor will say, I'll give you money, but यार मुझे mileage चाहिए. तुम्हारे social media से 250 लोग देखेंगे. आप टीवी पे हो नहीं सर. आप broadcaster के पास जाते हो and say, can you please put the rugby on TV? He says, who's your sponsor? So it's a vicious circle. Sponsor says no broadcaster. Broadcaster says no sponsor. RPL says both. Now I can go and I can say, now I can get some. Maybe not this year, maybe not last year, but in 2 years. Now I can ask for money. My ambition, personally, is those 18 crores. So that any kid, anybody who's at the district level is deciding, should I, shouldn't I, and they're from the bottom of the pyramid, 1 lakh, if I make the Kerala team, I'll get $1 lakh. I'll be 17 years old, I get $1 lakh, it's okay. You know, it's a start. But that is the first hurdle that financially that I want to cross. That's the mathematics.
Congratulations to you for your efforts to conceive this RPL and bringing it to Hyderabad, and your efforts to popularize rugby. I got 2 questions. One is, if you don't mind, can you name the owners of this next franchise?
Sure.
And the second is, what is the highest bid for an Indian player that went in this, and the highest bid for a foreign player?
Okay. So I'll take the second question first. Foreign players in a draft. Every single player gets $15,000 at the A category, $7,500 at the B category, and $2,500 in the C category. It's for 11 days of rugby. So this is as high as it gets anywhere else in the world. Okay? Indian players, there's a base price of 50,000 rupees and a total purse of 7.5 lakhs. So the top priced player this year went for 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs, in 2 minutes, it was signed, sealed and delivered. Should we increase the purse to 30 lakhs? We can, but the teams have to pay. So we have to be sensitive to the profit, loss, etc. And first question. First question was team owners. Bengaluru Bravehearts is a consortium. Manipal Hospitals, Universities, Incred, and a private investor. Kolkata is 2 investors, one from IT in Bangalore, and the other one is a very, very family with deep roots in infrastructure in Odisha. Delhi is a very well-known real estate company in Bangalore called RMZ. Their biggest market is in Delhi, so they're wonderful owners. Hyderabad, Kelo Sports, they have a team in Kabaddi and a team in Kho-Kho. So Kelo Sports is taken Hyderabad. Mumbai is Dream 11, Dream Sports. The Dream Sports company, they've taken Mumbai. And Kaun Bachan? Chennai. He's an Australian. Indian Australian who lives in Australia, who owns the Chennai team because he has a lot of connections with Tamil Nadu. So he said, I want a team, and he only wanted the Chennai team. I should say that we had 3 other cities that we could have gotten into the RPL from last year only, because the finances were so attractive. But we didn't, because the larger the league, the less attractive it is to the owners, because the profits get split. So we had to make sure enough teams to make it viable, a good tournament, but not too many to make it unattractive to the owners. Are we going to expand from 6 to 9 or 6 to 8? Definitely. But that will be, I think, year 5 or year 6. But we'll see. Right now, we want to make these 6 team owners feel they've made a fantastic decision. So by year 5, it should be. Glamour in the owners.
Glamour is in the players.
Glamour is.
Like Abhishek Bachchan is there promoting Kabaddi.
Last year, our promos were done by Tiger Shroff, Abhishek Bachchan and Farhan Akhtar. And they all did it for free. That's the rugby way. Last year, Shankar Mahadevan sang at the opening ceremony. He did it for free. I mean, how can you give 1 rupee to somebody? We don't have money. Our money goes to the players. Yes, last year, we had 12 chief guests. They were the parents of the Indian boys who were playing. We flew them down from Bihar, from Haryana, from Maharashtra, from Odisha, from Tamil Nadu, from Rajasthan. We flew mother and father who had never been on a plane before, and I said, if Abhishek is going to be there, you're going to be there. And this year, we are flying the parents of 4 of our women, our female players. 4 of their parents are going to come down, and they're going to be part of it. That's the way we spend our money. That's where, I mean, when you leave the house to do something big, whose feet do you touch? Who do you hold? Whose wishes do you ask for? Your parents. So how can we forget that? So for me, that's important. Shankar will do it for free, parents will fly down.
Thank you, Rahul, for this very motivating speech. I have 2-3 curious questions as a layperson. I just wanted to understand, is the RPL also trying to get the Indian crowd educated into rugby as such? Because for a niche sport, which is non-cricketing sport, what are your efforts to promote this event and also to have the engagement of the audiences? Because as you said, the attention span is too little, and even if you have broadcasting rights, then they can still switch to other channels or sports. So that's one. And very quickly, the other question, you have the best of the talent coming from across the globe and also playing with the Indian talent. So what is the ratio and proportion of the players that you are going to have it? Are you going to have a mix and match? Is there a formula? Is there a formula?
On the field, on the field there are 7 people. There are 7 players, out of which 2 have to be Indian.
No, I mean to say that because there are over-representation from India because of its, the number of districts that are there. The players are too many, I think.
No, you only have 5 players per.
Yeah, no, but kind of players that you have from across India, they're also quite talented. So
No,
the dream of playing with the international players.
Will go to the best 30.
Okay,
Just like the dream in the IPL is finally going to go to 50 players, right? I think you have 4 or how many is it? Whatever it is. 7 or 8 or 10. 100 players. So ultimately, you can't be catering through the league. You can't be catering to the aspirations of millions to play, but you can certainly be catering to creating pathways for them. But let me get to the earlier part.
The education and the
Tough. Something like this. I did 5 rules of rugby last year: run, pass, catch, kick, tackle, score. That's it. Get the ball, run, pass, you get caught, tackle, put the ball back, play again, you get caught, kick, catch the ball, score. These are the 5 things that we've said time and time again. This year I've done it with Cyrus Brocha. That's be releasing next week. He and I have done it together. Of course, he doesn't stop cracking jokes, so God knows what people will understand from that. But it's basically run, pass, tackle, kick, score. So we are trying to make it as simple as possible for people to understand. That's one. And 2 is through social media, through constantly getting a lot of people to say this is really easy to understand, whether it's celebrities. We had a lot of celebrities last time who I knew who came in and did some social media. Is it enough? No. But this country is massive, and we are in our 13th month, and this sport has been there for 250 years. That sport has been there. How long has football been here? You won the Olympics in 1952, right? So I would say 1920s. I can remember, stories of barefooted people playing superbly in football and things. So we won't be having this conversation 20 years from now. But then you and I won't. You might be there. I won't be there. That's it.
Hello, thanks for the conversation. Just one question I have is when we mentioned other leagues that we've spoken about, table tennis, volleyball, not cricket basically, all the other sporting leagues that have come in recently. What are the do's and don'ts that you picked up? More importantly, the don'ts that you picked up.
Great question. Okay, let me ask you, what makes a league successful? It's a very fundamental answer. Huh? No, not competitive is very important. But what fundamentally makes you watch a league? The team that you're backing. Arsenal. Somebody in Jhumri Talaya is backing Arsenal. It's bizarre, but it works. The team. So, only team sports work in teams. Show me one individual sporting league that's a success. You pretend to make a team, but it's an individual sport, right? So the tribalism, the essence of all team sport is tribalism. It's not even nationalism, it's tribalism. Getting behind, and all of you singing the same songs, all of you wearing the same color t-shirts. I'm not approving or disapproving, it's a fact. So the first thing is, does rugby tick this box? Yes. Second, at the cost of repeating myself, that the do's and don'ts is it should be brilliantly exciting and easy to understand. Does it tick those boxes? I would not even have started dreaming of this if I didn't believe that these very, very fundamental boxes had been ticked. And of course, fourth and fifth is it the best on television at that point? Or can I just flip the channel and go on to something that's happening in Spain or in Manchester? No. This is amazing. Even if that was going on, I would still watch this and watch that. I would watch both. So that's it. So we learned a lot about, but fundamentally it was an individual sport over there. And I've said it in public fora, it's the truth, man. That's what makes leagues work. That's what makes all of us go mad, for teams. So, I think the gentleman is gone. Yeah. So, our triumph will be when people get behind the Hyderabad Heroes. And people get behind, just like they do in other leagues. They get behind the Bengaluru Bravehearts or the Delhi Reds. That will be the time when you start to see the sense of tribalism and all of that, which will kick in. There was some, I think, 9 foreign players, 5 Indian players in each side, and the composition is 7, which is 2 category A players, 2 from category B and C, 2 from Indian, and 1 can be a wild card with rolling substitutions. So it's 4 minutes of rugby and a break of 2 minutes. 4 minutes of rugby and a break of 2 minutes. 4 minutes of rugby break. So 4 quarters of 4 minutes. As opposed to normally rugby sevens is 7 minutes, 2 minute break, 7 minutes. We have 4-2-4, 2-4-2-4 for commercial time, but it also lends for terrifically intense rugby 4 minutes में खत्म हो जाएगा. I'll play Q1, I'll play Q4. I can chill for Q2 and Q3. So in that respect, it's been very cleverly planned and designed. Let me also say that this is officially sanctioned, supported by World Rugby. We would not have gotten here without World Rugby's, the referees. Another thing about coach, about players, who's the referee? Who's the umpire? Can't be some random guy from my building. So we have the best. So World Rugby's referee-in-chief, Paddy O'Brien, look him up, he's a legend. He was a legendary referee. He's sending the referees down. So, you know, when an international player walks in to India, to Hyderabad tomorrow, they're going to be seeing everything they would see in an international rugby tournament. Referee, similar. You know, physiotherapists, medics, coaches, players, ground, everything is like, yeah, I'm on international soil. I might be in Hyderabad, but this is international rugby happening out here.
Hi Rahul. Yeah. In front of you. Yeah. So, first of all, I'm really sorry that I don't know much about the sport.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. I know you as an actor for a very, very long time, and last year I saw Splits Wide Open, it was like an amazing movie. So I have come here to see you as just to see you basically, and
And now I regret it. And I don't know how to get out because I'm in the second row and I'm stuck between people here.
No, I love whole the conversation. I'm definitely gonna come tomorrow or after tomorrow, see the practice and match.
16. You come on the 16th.
Okay, whenever it is, I'll definitely come. So my question is, since we know that in India, movie influence people on a mass level. So
When am I going to make a movie on rugby?
yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna ask.
I'd love to.
Because you're one of the finest actors in.
Listen to
we all
the-
know.
I won't be there. Listen to the stories. The stories. I mean, I can't tell you, if I tell you some of the stories which are just real. It's like the Hindi movie with the Sarangi in the background. You start weeping. And you'll be laughing and you'll be weeping. It's like that. It's completely crazy. The miracle of what sport can do in a family. You know, one of our national players, he comes from a tribal family in Odisha and there was no money. There was a death in the family and there was no money. He went to Chennai to break stones. 320 rupees a day. His university's college coach called him. The college principal called him. He ignored their numbers. He says this. It's going to be on Geo Hotstar next week. He told us this. Then he saw a number he didn't recognize and by mistake he picked it up. It was the founder of the college. He said, where the hell are you? He said, I'm in Chennai, I'm working. What are you working? He said, I'm in construction. Guy he was breaking stones. So first that guy said, if you don't come, I'll call the police. He said, I don't care. Then he said, no. Come, whatever you want, whatever your family wants, I'll look after them, but come back and play. The guy, Captain India. The guy is playing the RPL. I asked him, I said, how does it feel? He said, sir, मैं क्या बोलूं? About that girl who didn't get into the national team. She went home and her mother said, she saw a plane. She said, you could have been on that plane to Bangkok to play the tournament. And the girl felt so bad. And when she made the team, now the Sarangi comes out. The first person she went to was her mother and said, I'm going to be on that plane. So a movie, and you don't have to, it writes itself. It's crazy, it just writes itself. And then people say, hey, yaar, kya bundle picture tha? As if this is going to, oh, nobody talks like that. But they do. They do. Real life sometimes is much more melodramatic, much more unbelievable, much more crazy than fiction. These are stories that are just, they are everywhere. Yes, but I will.
And sometimes it works, like we have seen Milka Singh, Mary Kom, all those stories, and how big they become after the movie. So it can be really a game-changing idea.
You know, I think much more than that is Neeraj Chopra.
Yeah, Neeraj Chopra.
Nobody threw the javelin.
No. Yeah.
You have to win. After all the stuff I've said, Nobody's asked me the crucial question. Nobody follows rugby because we've not won anything. Sindhu won, no? Saina won, no? Leander won, no? Leander Mahesh won. Pragnanda wins. Mukesh is winning. Rishi won. You have to win. Nothing works better than that. The country gets behind you, have to win. I think we are 2 years away, 2 to 3 years away from that moment. And when that moment comes, we want to be ready for it. We want to have the RPL. We want to have 56 national tournaments. We want to be, in the top 3 nations. We want to be ready for that moment. When that moment comes and people are like, hey, rugby, rugby, rugby. Yeah, here's the ball. Go. Ready. Here, you can play here. You can play there. You can talk to him. You can talk to her. We want to be ready for that. I won't be at the helm of affairs, but I want to be ready for that. I don't know her background, to be honest. I mean, I know her background from a newspaper, but I don't know the background. But I just want to tell you one more thing. There are 3 stages in a sports life. First, when 5 of you get together and say, listen, we want to play passing the parcel. Let's start an Indian passing the parcel federation and let's play in the world passing the parcel contest. But yeah, paise kahan hai? Yeah, you buy the tickets, you print the t-shirts. Listen, your dad is, he's got his car, we'll go to the airport, like that, right? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? 5 years after that, listen, I can't spend any more money. Then you come to the middle phase. The middle phase is, we have to professionalize in order to get money. We have to show people we are professional so they'll believe in us. But to professionalize, we need ground, we need kit, we need international exposure, we need psychologists, we need nutritionists. Who's going to put the money? So somebody please put the money. They believe in your integrity and your vision. And gradually they'll begin to believe in the process. They'll see the process. But you still haven't won. Your last phase is when you win. And then everybody is running after you. Rugby is at the end of the second phase. We are just about to go into, this is the toughest. Because now all the people who've been funding us are like, guys, win. What's happening, right? But they can see how the rankings are climbing, how we're winning on the Asian circuit. But that Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games, that's not happening. That's 2-3 years away. We have to just hold hard right now and convince people with your intent, with the way you're doing it. They should be able to see where the money is going. Yeah, it's going to feed these people. It's going to create nutrition for our athletes. This is where the money is going. So that's just an interesting thing I want to tell you about sports. That these are the 3 phases of sport. And most sports in any country, forget about India, collapse in the second stage. First stage, some friends get together, big whoa. And then you never hear of that sport again. It's the second stage of the collapse. Once you're in the third stage, makhan.
So if there are no questions, then we would like to wrap up this event. But I would like to place on record on behalf of Lamakan, thank you so very much indeed for your very lovely, intimate and candid talk. And thank you for educating all of us. I have been really immensely benefited out of this talk. He wears multiple hats. One of the crowns of his hats is, of course, rugby. And your unwavering commitment and unparalleled, unmatched leadership qualities to the sport is really, really, truly magical. Thank you so much. And we are equally thrilled to be part of the rugby in Hyderabad, and we will be witnessing in large numbers. So Hyderabad is going to be there, and we will also like to present you a small, token of appreciation and memento. the actual.
I was hungry at that.
No, but, yes. Okay, so thank you everybody. And